Jessica is in Billings, Montana. Hi, Jessica. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. My husband and I have been on your plan for about the last 5 years. We have done 3B for the last 2, and we've decided to go back to doing 4. We're just feeling really discouraged in not being able to afford a house where we are here in Montana, and just feeling like we're still years away, even after we've been saving for the last 4. And I just wondered if you had any advice for us.
How much have you saved?
We have a $20,000 emergency fund and $47,500 in a down payment fund.
What's your household income?
Between my husband and I, it's $75,000 a year.
You need to go buy a house.
We tried. We've been trying. So we looked at a house yesterday for $265,000, which is really affordable for our area. And I know you recommend a 15-year loan, but that seems way out of reach. So on a 30, the payments would be between $1,700 and $1,800 a month, which is more like 35% of our take-home pay instead of 25%.
You're not discouraged. You're throwing a fit because you can't buy the house you want. That's not the same as being discouraged.
Okay. We just haven't been able to find anything lower than that.
Yeah, keep looking. You need to find a home that you can afford that is a blessing. Don't buy something that's a curse because you didn't look hard enough. I mean, sometimes this is an adventure, this house hunting thing. You don't have an unlimited budget. You make $70,000 a year. You have $47,000 to put down. Don't put your family into a crisis just to become a homeowner. But also, don't say home ownership's out of reach in Billings, Montana. It's not. You can do this. But, it may not be the house you saw yesterday. And yeah, I would do it on a 15-year fixed where the payment's no more than a fourth of your take-home pay. Why? Because I want you to be millionaires later, and I don't want this house to ride you. I want you to ride the house.
Dave, Sheila and I, my wife and I, did something that's not really it's not in the baby steps. But we found ourselves in this situation, and tell me if this is crazy. We, as a couple, decided we are going to do essentially another Gazelle Sprint so that we can afford this down payment of a house. And we decided just to lock things down in the middle for a limited amount of time. I think we said 9 months, something like that. And we're just going to work bananas. I'll take an extra job, and I'm going to adjunct here. I'm going to do that. And let's just accelerate this process real fast to get this down payment so that we can then move this thing along.
The only thing that's not in the baby steps there is just we teach you to be intentional, not intense.
Right.
And you said, in order to get the house I want, we're gonna turn up the heat.
Yeah.
We're gonna go for it.
But and we decided together.
Yeah. And so like both of you work extra, no vacations, no eating out, and you go back to Gazelle intensity, and you take your 47 and you make it 75.
Right. And let's do this for 6 months, and let's just be bananas about it, and then then we're gonna have no problem.
Yeah. But the problem is when you do a little bit of everything, nothing gets done.
That's right.
And so you start losing death by 1,000 cuts then, and that's what I'm afraid of here. And so it's just. It is, it's not all Skittles and rainbows when you go look at houses.
No, it's the worst.
Because you always see something you can't afford.
Always.
We're drawing a house plan to build next summer, and the guy helping us with it actually added the numbers wrong, accidentally. And so when we actually added them right, the house was like ridiculous. We're like, we're not doing that. And we can afford to do it, whatever. But it's just like, it's huge.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. Let's fix this. So we've gone through and cut the dadgum thing down, but it's depressing.
It hurts, right?
To go backward after you were up is depressing, and I can afford it.
Right.
So I have the choice. But if you don't have the choice and you've got to cut down because it doesn't fit the budget or it doesn't fit the situation, it's depressing.
Yeah.
If it's don't go drive new cars if you're getting ready to buy a new one or used one. Because a new one will, blow your dadgum mind, and then you can't return.
You can't, And don't fall in the trap of a frustration. If you're around a child, especially like a toddler, they get annoyed, and then they just hit something, or they just shove something over, or they bite somebody. Don't just go see a house, and then just get so frustrated.
You buy it anyway.
That you buy something.
Yeah, because it's just the way it is, and you don't understand.
Just walk away.
Dave
walk
Ramsey.
away.
Yeah.
And reset.
That's what you back up, take a cold shower, get house fever. I mean, it's a real thing. I understand. It's easy to be.
Oh, listening to her, I threw a temper tantrum the other day. I wanted to buy something, and again, I could afford it. There was no reason on the planet to buy it. None. Zero. Except I just wanted it. And my temper tantrum, Dave, was at me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The grown-up me was telling the kid me I can't do this.
And the kid
well,
me
that's
was
what
like,
we're doing with this house plan.
So dumb.
We're like, the grown-up me looked at that and went, that's just dumber than crap. We're not doing that. And Sharon goes, that's ridiculous. We're not doing that. And I'm going, but I like it.
And I want it.
I want it. And yeah, I mean, that's human freaking nature.
That's right.
And if I, who teach this stuff every year for 30 years, fall for it, then Jessica in Billings, Montana, you have permission to fall for it too.
Right.
But you've got to fight the inner child.
Do the next right thing.
The one on the cereal aisle that throws a fit and says, I want it. No, call the wambulance, take 6 jobs, build up your down payment, or lower your price point that you're looking at and quit looking at houses you can't afford. And that's what you got to do. It's a pain in the butt, this thing called grown-up Phil.